Ready to set sail? We're the NYC Travelers and we're on the Norwegian Prima. There are several factors to take into account when booking a cruise: the ship, the itinerary, and perhaps the departure port, meaning where you sail from. We decided to take a 13-day cruise, initially because of the itinerary, and at the same time because it departs from New York. Since we live in New York, sailing from there sometimes makes perfect sense so that we can maximize our time on the cruise itself. When you take a 13-day cruise with 6 sea days, the ship starts to take on a great importance. After all, it's going to be your home for almost 2 weeks. Sailing from Manhattan means that unless you're sailing north, you will most likely have 2 days at sea before you get to your first port. In this case, we had 3 days. So, how was the Norwegian Prima as a home away from home? Let's take a look. Deck 6 is one of the main levels of the ship. It's the bottom of the Penrose atrium, where a lot of the action happens. And although you can't see it from here, one of the shops is here as well, notably the one where you can purchase alcoholic beverages to take home, although that might change. Remember, they will hold it for you until the last day. On this level in the atrium, entertainment happens here, either in the center or on the side near the Penrose bar. We sailed in December, during the holiday season. The Norwegian Prima crew commemorated Christmas, Hanukkah, Kwanzaa, and New Year's Eve. And since we were sailing from New York in December, the sail-away party happened down here also. Normally, as cruisers know, the sail-away party happens on Lido Deck. Bye-bye New York. Statue of Liberty, sailing. It is very cold out here. Deck 6 is host to the beginning of the Prima Theater and Club. The seats on the bottom level of the theater can be removed so it can become the dance club when needed or for other events. On embarkation day, they use the area for dining reservations and other things. During New Year's Eve, the bottom level was the dance floor. Having the theater being able to be converted this way keeps the other spaces on the ship available for other clubs, such as what you will see later on, the improv and the comedy clubs and the art gallery, etc. On Deck 6, at the stern or aft, or aka the back of the ship, you will find the Commodore dining room, one of the dining rooms used as the main dining room for complimentary meals. Sailings vary, but normally the main dining room will serve breakfast, lunch, and dinner. If there are 2 main dining rooms, they might not serve all 3 meals in both dining rooms. So check your app or check the newsletter or just simply ask. We alternated eating in the 2 main dining rooms, and outside of the Commodore was the Belvedere, which is a very nice bar, and during the day it can be a quiet space as well. As you can see from the decor here, they make it a lounge area so that you can just relax during the day, before your meal or after. Next door is the specialty dining area, Cagney's Steakhouse. You have to pay extra for this, or it could be part of the package if you bought the meals for the specialty dining. We've eaten at Cagney's before. I don't think we did it on this cruise, but we have before. Now, one of the things that we really didn't like too much, that to get from the stern or the aft of the ship, you had to pass through the casino to get to the atrium. That's not always such the best thing you need to do when you have children with you. I noticed that as families were walking with the kids, people kept saying no children were allowed, and they were trying to rush through as fast as they could, but it didn't quite work. The casinos are only open when the ship is out at sea. If you are docked at a port, it will be closed. Deck 7 features a continuation of the atrium, which houses guest services, including shore excursions. Also, one of another specialty restaurants, Bistro, which we like a lot. If you did not book a specialty dining package, you can try to book it as an a la carte. You will have to pay, of course. Another one is Hasuki, which is the very popular hibachi style dining. Because the hibachi is very popular with groups and families, you might want to book that in advance. On this same level is another area called Nama, which is sushi and sashimi. That's open later on in the evenings. During the day, Nama was used as a quiet area and games were placed in there so that you can play. This is the Metropolitan Bar, which leads to the next complimentary dining area, which will be Hudson's. So I kinda went out of order here. Honestly, you pass through the Metropolitan on your way to the sashimi restaurant, the hibachi restaurant, and also Hudson's. Entertainment and trivia games were held here, and Metropolitan was not your average bar. They served specialty drinks just for that area only. At the back of Deck 7, aft, was another complimentary dining room, Hudson's. As you can see, this has a different decor than the Commodore, but they serve the same menu in both dining areas. Again, check with your particular sailing to see whether they serve all 3 meals. Also, for both complimentary dining rooms, check to see whether meals are served in this room for breakfast and or lunch on port days. Sometimes they did a different schedule for port days. You can book your own time when you want to dine, and we kind of favored Hudson's a bit because we kind of liked one of the staff members there. If you like art, Deck 7 has the art gallery. Look for the events in the newsletters or on the app so that you can bid for your favorite painting or artwork. Sometimes they have events where they give out prizes in case you show up. The art for sale is usually not the same art that you will see displayed throughout the ship for the decor. This is different, but walk around the ship and take a look around and see what is there. It really is a nice little tour. Improv is on Deck 7 also. We did not get a chance to catch any shows there, but as we said before, some of the art events that they have through the art gallery might be held in the Improv if you're on the Norwegian Prima. Deck 7 housed shore excursions, guest services, and Starbucks, which can get pretty crowded. Starbucks is extra, of course. It's subject to change, and you might be able to buy a package. Also on Deck 7 is the humidor. Remember, smoking is only available in certain areas of the ship. Check with guest services about the hours. The store where you can get your Norwegian gear is also on this level. Make sure you go all the way around the entire store. There's another side to it that I almost did not see, but I got it here for you. And you can go out onto the deck from the store.
A1, bar number 1. We're here at Sid Norman's. This is what, our 4th Sid Norman's, 4 different cruise ships.
Here we are.
Nice rock venue. We're bar hopping. I have a beer. She has a Riesling. Stay tilted. There'll be more.
Deck 7 is the home of Sid Norman's Poorhouse, which is a concept that Norwegian has on many of its ships. Sid Norman is a fictional character, but apparently he was an agent or he was in the rock business and then he opened up a bar after he retired. It features a live band, which is actually a cast, and they might not be the same cast on each ship, or they might not be back on this same ship if you come on the sailing. So hopefully you get a good cast. We like this cast, so we came to Sid Norman's very much during this cruise. Also during this cruise, because of the small area of the venue, they had a special concert in the Prima Theater. This cruise also featured a Q&A with the cast, which was a lot of fun. The iConnect Internet Cafe is also on Deck 7 to get help with your Wi-Fi. Take the elevators, take some of the side stairs, or take the main atrium stairs to go between Decks 6, 7, and 8. Like the other decks, there's lots to do here. There are shops and boutiques on deck 6 and 7, but deck 8 is where you really can get your credit card out, or rather your ship card out, and go to town. They were a little closed when we walked through, but outside of these main areas, there also will be little booths and little teeny tiny boutiques where you can buy fragrance and sunglasses and purses. The Perspective Studio is here as well. Book your personal photography session. That shopping has made you hungry. After you walk through the stores area, you will end up at the local. The local is the same concept as O'Sheehan's, which is on other Norwegian ships. It's generally, the kitchen might be open 24 hours. It's open when the cafe and the buffet is not open, and the dining rooms. And it has a different layout than O'Sheehan's. This one has a bar area in one area and the dining part in the other side, but it's all the local. There's also a lounge area so that underage people can be with their parents, and sometimes they have games in that area too. If the local does not have what you want, the Indulge Food Hall might.
That's the name of this food hall for me, y'all. It's called the Indulge Food Hall. And my wife always says I get on a cruise and act like a fool and I indulge too much. So it's literally 5 or 6 different bars and food trucks. So we will be hitting that. And as you can see, I've already indulged. Cheers.
And here we go. This will open up. Open up. It's empty now because they're preparing for dinner. But you will see Seaside Rotisserie, a garden, Starbucks, I know. And what else is there here? Okay. Texas Q, Coco's, and the cutest thing, real looking food trucks. Norwegian Prima. Indulge food hall. Okay, we shall be here tonight. During breakfast time, they serve a modified buffet breakfast that you can get so you don't have to go to the buffet upstairs. But for the rest of the day, it is definitely like a food court with different styles of cuisine, different types of food that you can get, and except for the Starbucks area and the bar, of course, it is complimentary. But it has an interesting concept about how you get your food. If you can see, there are iPads or tablets rather at each area where you sit to eat. You're supposed to order your food on the tablet and then one of the crew members will bring it to you. However, with us, the tablet kind of got stuck a bit, so there are crew members walking around to help you if you need to get your food. Along with the local and along with Hudson's and the Commodore complimentary dining areas, this area here was a great alternative to the buffet upstairs. And when we get upstairs, you will see why. You also see that the Indulge Food Hall at the back of the ship, aft or the stern, kind of complemented where you can walk all the way around deck 8. Head back through the local or walk around outside and you will hit Los Lobos, which is a specialty dining featuring Hispanic food. Since during our sailing, this served mostly just dinner, the area was a quiet space that you could use during the day. There were some games that were out there as well. And instead of the library area like other cruise ships, this is where we picked up the daily puzzles that you would like to do, such as a crossword or Sudoku. Did I say that correctly? I don't know. Go back through the boutiques or walk around outside and you'll end up at Onda, maybe Onda, I don't know. Italian-inspired cuisine, where we also ate. It's specialty dining, so you have to pay extra. We booked it as part of our More at Sea package and we certainly enjoyed it. Did you see the drink there? It most likely came from the whiskey bar, which is right next door to that restaurant. We're still on deck 8, which has a lot to offer. You might be spending more time on deck 8 than you thought. There's a lot to eat, whether you buy it or whether it's complimentary, whether you just hang out or whether you just look over the atrium down to the activities below. Well, that's deck 8. We're headed up to the upper decks. Decks 9 through 15 are where we all live. And since we were here for 13 days, yeah, this was home. However, on deck 10, you will find the medical office, and also on one of these decks, we'll get to it, is the kids club. However, I cannot show you the Haven Suites because those are exclusive. They have their own dining area, their own pool, sun deck. They have everything for them. You pay extra for the Haven. They also have a feature on Norwegian for the studios. If you are a solo cruiser, you can get an interior studio. The studios have their own lounge. That's a nice perk. Deck 12 houses the medical center. You really should buy travel insurance, which might include medical, because you get charged and billed for everything. But in all fairness, prices are posted outside of the medical center so that you know what you're into in case you need their services. Register your children for the Splash Academy when you board the ship, almost as soon as you finish the drill part. The Guppies program, you have to stay with your child. That's not a drop-off program. But the rest of Splash Academy, for the older children, you can drop them off. However, the hours vary greatly. Make sure you check with the staff about when the center is open. So if you can, drop off the kids at Splash Academy and head on up to deck 16, where there is definitely a lot of action. And that action is going to come from you. The Pulse Fitness Center is up here, in addition to the spa, the beauty salon, and the barbershop. In this ship, the fitness center and the spa, the barbershop, the whole Pulse experience was on 2 different levels, so make sure you know where you need to be. Not a spa person, so I take advantage and look around when I'm boarding the ship on embarkation day. You can also ask a lot of questions. They might be able to book private sessions to tell you what it is that you might want to have. Sometimes they have foot seminars, back seminars, digestion. They will tempt you with, do you want to get rid of the little extra fat in your belly and things like that. Of course, the purpose is sometimes to sell you products, but also you'll be able to get a good massage or a good one-on-one session with a consultant. Everything here, except for the fitness center, costs extra. If you want to go to the barbershop, if you want to go to the beauty salon, if you want to go for your spa treatment, all of that is extra. As far as fitness rooms go, this is my area. There was a lot of machines. It's always crowded the first sea day early in the morning. But after that, people get over it and you will have the place to yourself at some point during the day. So check it out when you're on board. Deck 16 is also the area where you will find the Haven amenities. One of these days, I'm going to pay extra and I'll be able to show you everything that the Haven has to offer. Sailing from New York means that deck 17, once you're outside in the open, is not the most popular deck. However, once we hit warmer waters, this is the spot. We're starting with the Galaxy Pavilion. If you can't find your child in Splash Academy or Entourage for the older kids, they might be here. You can buy an arcade package, and there are some limitations for the arcade package so that your child is not continually swiping all the way and playing games during the whole cruise. However, not every single activity in the Galaxy Pavilion or in this game's arcade area is included in the arcade package. So make sure you walk around embarkation day and get all the information. Crew will be there to help you. Embarkation day is the time that we usually take advantage of the arcade because on sea days it might get a little crowded. One of our favorite spots was the observation lounge. The observation lounge is aft at the back of the ship on deck 17, and during the daytime you can see a marvelous view of the ocean as you're sailing along. Like the Indulge food hall, You can come up here for a complimentary breakfast, especially when the buffet is too crowded. There will be soft music playing, and this is basically a quiet area. It also, surprisingly, was very popular with some of the teens that hung out here instead of their club. I don't know why. Up until after Christmas Day, there was a beautiful display that was in the observation lounge that had a train running through it and everything. However, you had to catch it quickly because I think by December 26th or 27th, that baby was gone. The observation lounge is one place where events may be held, such as the special reception that they hold for members who have a certain amount of points, like us. Another specialty restaurant is Palomar, which features seafood. We did and we didn't see it exactly. On this ship, this is where the wine tasting events are held. Now there's a restaurant, but as you can see, when it is closed during the day because it's only open for dinner, other events might be held there. The interesting about the Palomar is that you kind of walk through it going from one part of the Lido deck to another, and they use it as an overflow for the buffet. As for the wine tastings, they do have different versions. This one was a chocolate pairing. Later on, they had a pairing with cheese and things like that. However, eating at this restaurant, if we're back on the Prima, is definitely on our list. I was a little old school. I was calling the pool deck the Lido deck, but it actually is the pool deck. However, this was not the place to be December at night. We got to it by accident. Unfortunately, sometimes if you didn't cross over on the deck below, you had to cross from one part of that level to get to the buffet outdoors. Between this deck and the one above, you'll find your typical things that you expect on the sun deck, the Lido deck, the pool deck. You know what I mean. The Vibe Beach Club, which used to be called the Adult Area Club, is now costing extra. That's also on this deck here, on deck 17, on the Prima. The reason why that we were crossing the pool deck at night in the cold was because we were trying to see what the cafe looked like, the buffet rather, looked like. Well, we got an interesting surprise. The buffet was a little bit smaller on this ship than you would expect. And if you caught a little of the clues and the hints that I was saying earlier, that's because you don't have to eat here for breakfast, lunch, and dinner. The observation deck and the casino and the Indulge will have some breakfast there. The local is open 24/7. Basically, you can get breakfast, lunch, and dinner there, and you can eat in the complimentary dining rooms. What I did miss, and what I'm prone to miss a lot of times on Norwegian ships, is showing you Food Republic. And that's because I've never eaten there. It's an interesting mixture of Asian and Latin fusion happening there. I haven't eaten there yet. It costs extra. I wasn't interested in the menu. I promise I'll at least get a picture of the area. This is footage from the Norwegian Joy, and basically the Food Republics look similar on all the Norwegian ships. However, on the Prima, the Food Republic along with the Palomar is also an overflow for the two small Surfside cafe and buffet. Adjacent to the buffet area was the Surfside Grill, another option for lunch and breakfast. Limited options, not as extensive as the buffet, but it was there. And one day the crew did entertain us without singing the Washi Washi song. Decks 18 and 19. There you had your sports and your activities. The highlight of this area is the speedway, which on this ship costs. I'm not sure if you had to make a reservation because I've done the speedway on other Norwegian ships for free. Once I found out that this one costs, I kind of lost interest. The rest of the area is called the stadium. This area is free, where you can play different types of games in different types of ways. Of course, all of this is open when the weather is a lot better. We actually kind of liked the stadium, and we tried to do some of the games that were there, especially something called soccer. But the rest of the games that are listed, they will tell you the rules and how you can play everything, and hopefully everyone plays fairly and has a good time. By the way, the beer pong is not really beer pong, so anyone can play. Enjoy with all ages. On the other side, the tea total or tea time, yes, that was the golf, the tea time, and the other games, those do cost some money, so check with the crew. When the weather is better, try the wave water slide. You start on one level and you come down to the next. Just make sure that you follow all of the rules, check what time it's open, check with the staff and the crew to make sure you're safe and you're doing it properly, and have a good time. It's not for kids only, it's for everyone. The water slide was a water slide and it only went from one deck to another. But if you are ambitious, there was a regular slide, dry, you keep your clothes on. The drop and the rush dropped down from deck 18 down to deck 8. The rush is a dueling slide. 2 people can race each other down to the bottom. Way up on deck 18 is Entourage, the teen club, ages 13 to 17. Now, this is an interesting concept here. Half the time the teens want to be here, the other half the time you see them sitting on the steps and hanging out other places on the ship. I think this is what happens. They get there, they meet their new friends, they exchange their phone numbers or whatever so they can text each other on the ship, and then they hang out in other areas of the ship. But when I toured on embarkation day, if I were a teen, I think I'd rather be here than hanging out where my parents are. But that's just me. That's the Entourage Teen Club. You're not allowed in after the ship sails, especially if you're an adult. The Prima was an interesting ship concept and design. There was no library, so your daily games were in the Lobo restaurant. There was no real club. The theater turned into a club in case they wanted to have events at night. There was a lot of focus on different food concepts. This threw some people off because the buffet was really teeny tiny. It actually took me 4 days to realize I could get breakfast someplace else on the ship if I wasn't going to do sit-down dining. Sometimes Hudson's was not serving lunch during port days, and because this was a long cruise and there were 6 port days, that means there were 6 days that those meals were not served in the complimentary dining area. However, of course, the staff was professional, the staff was nice, the captain was very approachable, everything was working in order, so much so that, we really didn't have any complaints. Our cabin steward was nice. The layout of the ship could be a bit confusing. Sometimes you had to go through areas to get to another. Sometimes there was no walk around, so children were going through the casino to get from the complimentary dining to the atrium. But other than that, this is a ship that I don't mind doing again now that I'm used to it and I know how it functions. Just know that some of the amenities that you're used to on other Norwegian ships that have some names, they're different on this ship. O'Sheehan's will be the local. Your Italian restaurant here is called Onda. The Bistro was the same. You have Los Lobos here, and that indulged food hall was just, it took a little getting used to, but once we got the hang of it, it was amazing. And what about the cabin? Well, here you go. Hello, New York. Cruise. Not a lot of people parked. Price is ridiculous. People are already getting off. We are here. Hey, New York. Well, that's our tour. We did enjoy the Prima. As you see, that we had some concerns, particularly with the buffet and people crowding, but once you got used to it, you could figure it out. Definitely we will be sailing Norwegian again. And if the Prima is the ship that has the itinerary and the ports that we want, then that's the ship that we will be on. We're the NYC Travelers, and we have been on the Norwegian Prima. Thanks for sailing with us.